Hey guys, welcome to the Aspie world. Today we're going to be doing a video on meltdowns. Meltdown is a word that you probably are familiar with within the autism community, but it's not a word that's officially recognised to diagnose a situation. So a meltdown could be characterised as behaviour that challenges. Some people kind of get confused between a meltdown and a tantrum, and I guess if you have children, the main difference between a tantrum and a meltdown is that, okay, like everybody can have a tantrum, and a tantrum is a way of gaining control of a situation, so a child will try and gain control over that situation. A meltdown is completely different. A meltdown is where someone loses control, has no ability to think about their intentions or actions or safety, and it's kind of when you get to the end of your tether, or you get to the end of your tether. With autism it's different because you're not really trying to, you know, explode or anything. You know, it's quite the opposite really. You just want a quiet life and a quiet, calming situation. So this is how I experience it. I guess meltdowns are different for people with classic autism or people with high functioning autism or Aspergers Syndrome. With the meltdown for Aspergers people, this happens to me. I have broken my hand, my wrist and my finger. I have broken loads of things, broken my drawers where I keep my clothes. This happens when it's kind of like information overload. We have like a complete overload of information. I mean, you might get like something that'll set it off, like light and noises, a lot of people. I find it's normally apparent when I have issues where I try and think of a situation and then something will go wrong, and then my routine is changed, and then something else will happen. It'll be like a domino effect, and it'll be catastrophic, and then it'll end up in this like nuclear explosion. So basically it's kind of like having it lash out and you have no control over it. You get really hot and really sweaty and like really shocking as well, so you get really shocked and you can't help but be overwhelmed by this information. You can't find a way out, and then there's no, you can't, you know, you're always trying to find resolutions to situations with the way Asperger people think. You try and rationalize with a situation to put it into a logical way of thinking so it has a pattern or a purpose, but sometimes when things don't have patterns or purposes, it's hard to control the situations and it becomes overwhelming. There are techniques of calming down when you're having meltdowns. One is to kind of like, you know, deep breaths. Another one is to breathe through your nose and not through your mouth. The biggest meltdown I had was when I was in a car crash. It wasn't a massive one, but it was definitely a car accident. That was difficult for me because it was such a surprise and a shock, and all that overloading of information. It was the biggest meltdown I had, and I couldn't stop shaking and stuff, and sometimes my hands go, and it's really difficult. And in that one I kind of forget bits of information. I don't always remember what happens during a meltdown, you know, so it's kind of like an overload of information. I get really explosive and lashing out, and I punch things and break things. I can't help it. It's like an explosion of emotion. Then afterwards, the weirdest thing is that after the meltdown completely like calms, because it can go from like this to like this and then back down again, and when it's calm again my body's all tense and my back hurts and my arms hurt and my hands are really hurting, my wrists are hurting. Once the meltdown has occurred, it takes about a day or two to kind of really recover from it. The day after I am really low and my self-esteem is really low. So my information for help with this would be to comfort anybody who's having a meltdown, try and calm down their behaviour by breathing patterns and control their situation so that it doesn't lash out and they hurt themselves or they can hurt somebody else or break something that you don't want breaking. Those kind of things could be effective in helping reduce the amount of stress related with meltdowns. Parents and stuff, there are loads of tips online. If you type in autism meltdown help, a bunch of resources on the internet which you can probably find, which will definitely help. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you have anything to add to the video. I'd love to talk to you about it and help a discussion, and it might actually help somebody else out along the way. Please subscribe to me if you haven't already with a subscription button below. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.
It's not really It's like you're like a red carpet event where you go on the thing. Like, take pictures of me. Yeah, I'm promoting. We did one with the radio station. Remember we did the Capital FM one? The girl whose boyfriend's on jet skis.